Math 122. Let's look at week number 8 homework, which is dealing with measures of center. Fancy math word to talk about the average, the mean, or the median. So, where are we going with all this? Well, if you look at the homework, all these problems need to start with a data set. We need numbers to find the center of, so to speak. If you look at problem number 1, it's asking you to find a 5-number summary. We have the data that we're going to use to get that answer. Okay, if you've looked at the course lecture, you know the 5-number summary consists of 5 numbers: the minimum, the maximum, median, first quartile, and third quartile. My bold guess is that everybody here could get the minimum and maximum very easily. Median, I think we could probably get with just a very little refresher. The first and third quartiles might use a little bit more refresher. I'll get you those. However, let's change up the data. Let's go with something about the price of soup at a restaurant, the price it costs a restaurant to make soup. I will solve the 5-number summary for this data set. You'll apply it to the homework. Okay, first thing, if we have a data set here, 12 numbers for these bowls of soup, the first thing we need to do is we need to get them in order, from smallest to largest. And obviously, when we have the smallest to largest, then finding the minimum, super easy. Same thing with the maximum, real easy. But we need to get them in order for the next 3 numbers, starting with the median. In order to get to median, we need to kind of cross off the smallest and the biggest, and so on. Keep crossing off the outer numbers until we find the actual middle of the data, like so. Keep crossing off it, and then we get to the middle. Now you'll notice in this case, there's 2 numbers in the middle of the data. There's 2 numbers, and we only need 1 median. So what do we need to do? We need to take the average of those, add them up, and divide by 2. You get 2.63 or $2.63. You'll notice I drew a little red line there, kind of indicating that line right there is the median. It breaks and if you look at it visually, you see how it breaks the data into 2 equal sides, a first half and a second half. It's like the middle, the median. You're chopping the numbers in half. Okay, once we've chopped it in half, that's going to help us find the first quartile and third quartile. Actually, I'll use the football analogy because the medians are like halftime, right in the middle of the game. The first quartile is like the first quarter of a football game. It's in the first half. So what are we going to do to find the first quartile? We're going to look at the numbers only in the first half, and we're going to similarly do like the median. We're going to cross off the edges and find the middle of the first half. This is sort of a replay of before. There's 2 numbers in the middle there. What do we got to do? We got to average them, and then we get the first quartile value. And look at, I drew another little red line there in the middle to indicate, yeah, the first quartile is in the middle of the first half. So if you understand that process of finding the middle, like we did for the median, you'll do the exact same process for the first quartile. And guess what? You probably extending this notion. We're going to do the same thing for the third quartile. I'll put a dot there because you understand it, and I drew a little line in there. Visually, you can understand it, but I'd let you follow through the steps to get that number 3.035, which if you're dealing with money here, we'd round it up to $3.04. Either way, that is the process to get the 5-number summary. You'll apply it to the homework. Question number 2 is asking about the modes. Well, I need you to tell me if the data is bimodal, has no mode, or one mode. The mode, another way to think of the mode is the most frequent number, the one that shows up the most. So if you look at the soup data set, the one that I just used for the median, if you look through there, nothing gets repeated. There's nothing that's most frequent. No numbers here that show up more than once. So in this case, this would be a data set that has no mode because nothing shows up. Nothing is more frequent. Here's another data set. This is not from your homework. I'm just using these examples to illustrate the points. Pretend I walked around and asked 25 people, what day of the month was your birthday on? Not month, I don't care the month. What day of the month? And people gave me these 25 different answers. If you look through here, you'll start to see some things repeat, which is like a mode. We want to find out what happens most frequently. So if you're carefully observing, you say, wow, the number 5 is the mode because it shows up 3 times. But if you're double careful, you might say, whoa, the number 11 actually shows up 3 times as well. So both of these are the most repeated. If it happens twice, then that would be a bimodal data set. Okay, I'll let you take those concepts of the mode and apply them back to the homework. The other question, number 2, is asking about mean or median is a better measure of center. In order to answer this question, I just want to highlight 2 vocabulary words: outliers or extreme values, numbers that just kind of numbers that are far away from the rest of the other numbers. I'm not going to outline this in detail right now, but I will direct you right here. If you go to page number 5 in that class lecture, and this is all found in course documents. Course documents, download week number 8, there's a class lecture. And if you go to page number 5, it explains this in a little more detail. But what are you really thinking about? Thinking about outliers, extreme values. Does your data set have a number that kind of sticks out? All right. So I'm gonna number 1 and 2. Hopefully that'll get you a general outline of how to accomplish it. Number 3. Now we have a vice versa. I'm giving you a box plot, and you need to give me the 5-number summary. This is different than before, where I give you the numbers and you find the 5-number summary. Here I give you the box plot. I think for the homework it is this number of cousins. Let me switch it up. I'm going to do something for in the political realm, House representatives in the United States. Each state gets a certain number of House representatives based on your population. So small states are, you see one there, it says 1. Big states like California or New York probably have more representatives. So how do we go from this graph to get the actual numbers for the 5-number summary? Just look at the extreme parts of the graph and look at the edges of the box here. Those numbers, where they line up on the line, are the actual numbers in your 5-number summary. So you can tell right away the leftmost bar there lands on 1, so I think that's your minimum. If you look at the 4th line here, the 3rd quartile line, it looks like it's about 10.75. So you might say, okay, there's the 3rd quartile for this 5-number summary. But I want you to be careful, because what are we measuring? We're measuring representatives. Those are people in our government. People. You cannot have 0.75 people in a... You can't elect 0.75 a person. You elect people one by one. So I'm thinking that 4th line, the 3rd quartile, really is going to go on number 10. So you actually have to interpret these in between the decimals. You have to round numbers off. So hopefully that'll get you a head start to get your answer for number 3. Number 4 on the homework, I'm going to wave my arms and say, that's a think about it question. Do your best efforts, and obviously there's always homework corrections if you have further questions on it. Anyways, there will be online math tutoring on a Zoom meeting Saturday from 12 to 2. Check Blackboard. I'll post the link for that, and hopefully that'll be able to address the questions for a week number 8 homework, and we'll take it from there.